Hey, what's up guys? We're doing another CSGO Bootcamp video today, and today it's Overpass. And in this video, I'm going to break it down into 4 segments where we're going to start with T-side with mid-util, and then T-side taking A, T-side taking B, and then I'm going to close it off with CT utility for both sites. So the first segment of the video is mid as a T. And the 2 points that I want to highlight here are going to be front bath and divider. This is where operas sit all the time and pick T's off. So we need to figure out how to smoke them and smoke them quickly. So for front bath, you're going to come to these guardrails at the staircase, and you're going to notice these leaves over here where their shadows hit the wall. Find the gap at the high point of the shadow, and I think it's just best to memorize it. But you're going to look for that gap specifically, and then you're going to jump throw. And this should land in the front of bathroom. And any opper won't have any ability to see you guys. There is a second way of throwing this if you're not in T-spawn. You can throw it from playground, where you come find the flowers and find the red one. And then look for this needle tower in the sky, where the red and white pillar sort of forms at the base of the top of the tower. Throw at the bottom of it, just by left clicking. And then it should just hit front bath. Just like that. You know bath? It's important to be able to do divider, because if you just smoke bath, the opper is just going to move over, and then your smoke basically won't mean anything. So we need to be able to smoke divider, and the way you do this is you just come to the top of the stairs, where the stairs meets the platform, and get your smoke out. Find this black dot on this wall, and then aim above it to the top of the shadow above it, and then a little bit to the right. Then you're just going to jump throw, and it should bounce off this part of divider, and any player back here won't be able to use it. So now we're going to move to A site, and I'm going to show you a couple pieces of utility you can use to cover spots like bank, garbage, and truck, and even dice. So the first one I want to do is bench, and from here you can smoke garbage and truck. For garbage, you're going to stand on the top of the middle part of the bench, and then find the girl on this bathroom sign, and left click her head. For truck, you're just going to come to the back of the bench, and instead of the girl, now you're going to do the guy and just left click his head. And it's going to pop right into truck. A great way to memorize this is girls are trash, guys drive trucks. Girls are trash, guys drive trucks. So if you still want to smoke garbage and you're not in divider, you can still do it from A long. You just have to come up to this pillar on the left side, and then look at this corner, and right away you're going to notice a bunch of white bricks. 2 of them are in a pair. Look at the bottom one and the top right of the bottom one. Jump through. And that should get garbage. So now you know garbage and you know truck. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to smoke right side of sight, so any player playing dice can't swing on you. And for this smoke, you're going to have to come into divider again in this corner of bathroom. Line up right where you see this line, and it's called Snapchat, and we call it that because there is a ghost in the sky that looks like the Snapchat symbol. Find his little hand and then aim a little bit away from it, and just left click. And that should just get the middle of sight. Now to do left side of sight, you have to come to the lamppost at A long, and come up right to it on this side of the shadow, and then scooch a little bit away from the actual lamppost, and find this bulb, this concrete bulb, aim at the top left, and left click. And when you do that, it's going to bounce off the SWAT car and smoke the left side of sight. After you smoke truck, mid sight, and left side of A sight off, players are usually going to hide behind something like dice. So a great way to molly this is to come in divider and come to the left side of the entrance of divider, and then look for a hitch on the opposite side. Aim below it a little bit to the right, and then jump throw. And that's going to pop right behind divider, and any C2 player who plays this is either going to have to fall back to garbage, to bank, or you're going to force him to swing. And then the last thing I'm going to show you at A is how to smoke bank from divider and from A long. Now if you want to do it from divider, you have to come into this corner and then look for where this A is, and you notice on the wall it's discolored from the rest of the wall. find the left side of that discoloration, and then keep aiming all the way up till your crosshair is lined up with the top of the bathroom sign. When that happens, just jump throw, and that should get bank. Now, if you want to do it from A long, you have to come to the Montag sign, and then look for bank, find the A, and then aim above the A at the grid, and left click. And this should pop inside bank and do the exact same thing. Alright, now we're going to move to the B segment of the video, and the first thing I'm going to show you is how to molly short. So to do this as a T, you run up around the first corner, and look for the B. Find where the shadow turns into light. Take your molly, aim at the bottom of the B, and just jump throw. When you do this, you're just going to molly short, and any CT player who's trying to take water is going to have to smoke it or wait and give you time to take water. So a great combination for B is to be able to smoke bridge and center sight. Now, if you want to smoke bridge, you have to come to this pallet in the corner in front of it, and then aim at the bottom of the scaffolding on the right side, and bring your crosshair all the way up to the blinking light of the tower, and just left click. That should smoke bridge. So to hit the center sight smoke that matches with the bridge one, you come to a barrel outside a monster, and then look at the blinking light, just left click. Now a super common spot CT players play is wood, and it can be really hard to manage, especially when you're coming out of monster. So you can get a teammate to come to water, where there's wooden boards against the wall. Just stand in the middle of it, get a molly, and then this big pillar, aim at the top of the pillar where it meets the bridge, and look for the straight line on the right side of it. And right where that pillar meets the bridge, just left click a molly, and it should force any CT player either to fall back to sight, or it's going to force them to peek. One of the strongest positions on B side is heaven, where operas sit here and pick off monster or short. So I'm going to show you two ways of smoking this. One is super simple, where you just come into short, where you see the B in the corner of that sign. You're going to see this triangle above the highway. Aim at the middle right of it, and left click. That should just knock out heaven super easy. There's one extra way of smoking heaven from spawn, and it's actually pretty difficult. But you find this wooden board, and aim at this point in the middle grid, and get ready to hold W and then jump throw. Right when you pass the shadow on the ground right here, you jump throw, and this is going to smoke heaven. But the problem is it's a little deep, so any opera can come to the front of it and pick your teammates off. But the point of this is to either sell a fake, or if they have an opera that plays A and he's rotating out of bank, he can't help his team right away, and it buys your team a couple extra seconds. So one huge position for CTs at B side is Graffiti, and there is a way you can smoke it off, but you do need two smokes. And the first one is to smoke the right side of Graffiti. It's on the run and it's jumping. So when you come around this corner, you're going to see these pieces of scaffolding. Find the one on the left, and then when you're coming around the corner, aim at the right of it, and jump throw at the bottom right of it. And that's going to bounce off the wall in a special kind of way, and smoke right side of Graffiti. Now to do the left side of Graffiti, come to this pallet with the chicken, stand in the middle, and where the wall meets this hut, at this point, just jump throw. And this is going to bounce in a way that smokes off left side of Graffiti. And then when you team that up with another smoke on the right, no player in Graffiti can help anyone on B site. Now a super common spot for a lot of CT players to play is on this wall on Monster, where they just hide like this and wait for people to come out. A great pop flash you can throw for that is called the Nostril Flash, where you come to this fence and then move to the ledge and take your flashbang, and you see his nostril, the left one. Aim right at it, and just left click. When you do that, it's going to pop right in front of Monster, so any CT player playing on this wall is going to be full blind, and they won't have a chance to react to it. So now we're going to move on to CT side, and for CT side, the first thing I'm going to show you is a flashbang and connector. This is to retake water or B, and all you're going to do is tuck in this corner and look straight into the staircase, and look up where the staircase ends and just left click. And you can time that by peeking the window right when it pops, and any T player in water who's posted on connector is going to be blind. So if you're an A player and the T side is coming out B and you're not there fast enough and you still want to help, you actually can by coming over here to the garbage and finding this lamppost and just chucking some flashes by left clicking. And it's not going to be obvious at first, but the flashes that you just threw are actually popping above barrel. So any T player who's coming to fight, or fighting ramp, or fighting barrel is going to be blind by that. So if you're the CT side and you want to smoke monster for monster control, you can actually do it really simply right away, where you come to this garbage can in the corner, and then aim at this little tall thing on the wires, the left one between the two of them, aim at the top, jump throw. And then that should bounce off the train track into monster and give your teammates an opportunity to take some monster control. So if you have monster smoked off as a CT, there's a great pop flash you can do for monster, where you come to this bridge where it turns into concrete, this corner, take a flashbang, and then look at this building, 4 windows to the right, and then 1 up, aim at the top right of that window, and left click a flash. When you do that, it's going to pop right outside a monster. So if there's a smoke here, your teammates can come out of it, and all the T side is going to be pop flashed and blind. So if you're a CT and you're looking for water control, a really handy molly that you can use is you come to this point in the wall, and then aim at this balcony, and just left click a Molotov. And it's going to pop just like that, and hold the T side back. And then after you throw that molly, a really good thing to do is to come to not where you threw the molly, but a little bit left, and then take a flashbang and then aim at this dark window and left click. And it's going to pop in such a way right here where any T player that's sitting here is going to be blind, and then your CT teammate who's taking water can just swing it and peek, and they're going to be blind and he's not going to be affected. The last thing I'm going to show is how to Molotov the entrance to playground as a CT. And the best way of doing this is jumping on this bench on the end of it, taking a Molotov, finding this dot, aiming a little bit to the right where it meets the line, and then just get ready to run and jump. And then that's going to pop at the entrance, and it forces the T side back and gives your teammates time to take fountain. Well, thank you for tuning in to this iteration of CSGO Bootcamp. I hope you learned something new. If you like that content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.